is another therapy out there for returning veterans, and they are here today. It's One Pet, One Vet. And I want to call Joe up here because he started this organization, and it's very cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Well, my name is Joseph Edward Trainor, Jr. I served in Charlie Company, 3rd Ranger Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, United States Special Operations. Listening to everybody talk, and everything that's been going on today, I can't help but think that I've been in Chicago for 3 years, and let alone the state of Illinois, and not knowing that this was here, but being here today, I can't help but say thank you to each and every one of you that are out there today. It's one of the things to where I'll keep my story very brief and short, but we all know where we were at on September 11th. We were on what's called Ranger Ready Force 1, which means we are deployable anywhere in the world in 9 hours. So whenever the planes were striking the towers, we were getting prepped on where exactly in Afghanistan we were jumping into. A month and a half later, I found myself hooked up to a perfectly fine airplane, a C-130, and jumped into Kandahar, called Objective Rhino, just south of in Afghanistan, excuse me. And I'll never forget being hooked up and looking at all my boys and knowing that, excuse me, that I never really wanted to hurt somebody so bad in my life for what they had done to us. But having that opportunity, that experience, to be with a band of brothers, to have an entire nation of all of you out there looking for us to do something, and having it on the weight of your shoulders that you have the capability to actually do something, that's something that words can't describe. Not being able to talk about those things due to the OPSEC violations of my nature, of where I was at, that's where my disabilities come from, as far as being 100% disabled from my PTSD and TBI. TBI, for those of you who don't know, is traumatic brain injury. Essentially, all the tours that I did overseas, or that we've done, the young men and women, I have the insides of the equivalent of a 90-year-old male right now. Not saying anything against that, but being 33 and 90 in the inside is something that they pretty much put a determining factor on your life. So with that in mind, having done all these great things, special operations, numerous tours overseas, public speaking, helping veterans, find out, getting them in the military. But when I got out, there's nobody to talk to. You go to the VA, so what'd you do? I can't talk about it. Where'd you go? How do you have this DD-214 of all these medals, bronze stars, silver, yada, yada, yada? All that means nothing. It was all about the payback and the ability to have what you have here today. And where I say, when we go back to that airplane ride of me jumping out and always looking for that return, you're not looking for a return, but showing up and seeing this right here, I'd like to congratulate you. This is the second time that, believe it or not, I'm able to put that special operations face down, and it brings a tear to my eye right now to see the names of my fallen comrades, brothers and sisters, from numerous tours, from being there from the very first person on the first objective on the very first mission ever done on the war on terrorism to today, and being able to sit here and proudly say thank you to each and every one of you for what you do for each one of us veterans. And I can't thank you enough, so thank you. Secondly, and I'll wrap this up here, the whole reason why I'm standing here in front of you all today is because of a dog. Wow, a dog, right? Well, believe it or not, having everything that you did, the stories, the great jobs, the things that movies are made of, being in the movies too, and really looking and saying, well, if I can't tell anybody about this, as far as what I think, what I see a pothole. Everything that you just heard about PTSD and TBI, occurs to me on a daily basis. But the only thing that gets me through it is my service dog, Lily Joe. And our organization, OnePetOneVet.com, is something that was not, we were trying to figure out, see if it worked. But I wanted other veterans to feel and be able to have their lives saved, just like a pug that jumped into my lap at center field or Wrigley Field when I was getting ready to swallow a bottle of Vicodin and contemplated suicide for the first time in my life 3 years ago. Excuse me. Jump into my lap and look at me and say, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, from that point on, I'm going to make sure that, we get this mission accomplished as far as getting that unconditional love to simply those that not necessarily don't want to listen, but those that can listen, that can say, hey, I still have to go outside 3 times a day. You can't stay in this house all day. Hey, you can't isolate up in here. So One Pet, One Vet, sticking to our mission statement and our daily strive of taking that one dog that's deemed to be euthanized And pairing them up with our American heroes as service dogs is something that we partake in each and every day. And we have a tent that's set up over here with the dogs and big blue paws. So if you don't mind, stop by there, say hello to the dogs. But once again, thank you to each and every one of you, from the organizations to each one of you standing here today. Thank you. Rangers, lead the way.
Joe Trainor from One Pet One